This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 686 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for October 28th, 2025. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It's that time of year. It's time that we rank Horror Nights houses. Not the hype list, the actual list. And here with me is Michelle and Lee. Tracy's she's dead, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
R.I.P. Trace. We love you. She may show up in the next episode, but for right now, she's recovering.
It should be a ghost in the next episode. Is that where we're going?
Yeah, that's what it is. She's joining Lacey.
She did write in the show notes that she is dead, R.I.P.
That's Tracy's upbeat attitude, by the way.
You will hear next week if she manages to make it on. She's not doing well right now.
I heard the voice, and
she can't hear what's going on, and she's literally just put Lacey question mark. Yeah, she's hearing.
She literally sounds.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll just let it be. I'll let people figure out what it sounds like when she talks. Hopefully.
I am so excited for this episode because this year was a phenomenal year of Halloween Horror Nights. And I know Tracy's gutted she can't be on because she feels like her list needs clarification on where she's got certain ones. I'll probably do it for her because I think our lists are pretty similar. But I'm excited because I don't really know Chris's, and Michelle and I, we haven't talked about it at all, so I have no idea what your feelings are on any of these houses right now.
I know, because I was not there when you guys did HHN, so we literally did the event completely separately and have not spoken.
Yeah,
so
I'm quite excited.
For once, I was invited to an event.
Shut up. That's my phrase of today.
All right, we are counting down our HHN 34 house rankings. So this episode we'll be doing 10 through 6, and then next week, the rest. Let's start off with number 10. And I want to go ladies first here. So, Michelle, why don't you start us off with your number 10?
Cool. Yeah, number 10 is actually really easy for me this year, and that is Fallout. I know there's probably going to be a lot of people that are really upset by that ranking, but that's because I don't really know much about the show or the game. I have not played the game. I haven't watched playthroughs of the game. I tried to watch the show and I got through probably about 5 episodes of the first season, but it's just still that far in. It hasn't like caught my attention.
Okay.
And then going through the house itself, it really was one of those houses I think that you truly need to know what the IP is in order to appreciate the house, because most of it made no sense to me.
That's fair.
And the things that did make sense weren't like, it didn't feel like a haunted house. It just felt like a walk-through movie experience. Like it should be more of like in the great movie Escape as opposed to as a house at HHN.
That's a really interesting sentiment because I have a house on my list I feel very similar about, and it's not Fallout.
Really?
Yes, very similarly about.
This one did nothing. And I still am, although I'm much braver now, I still get jump scared really easily in houses. I didn't get one jump scare. There just wasn't anything in it that was content in it that was HHN worthy.
It just felt more like a walkthrough, right? Like of the set where they're recording.
Yep. Yeah, it didn't feel like a house to me. So that was my number 10.
Interesting.
Cool. All right. The next lady, the ghost lady, Tracy. All right. Oh my God, Tracy? No. No. Oh, man. We're going to have words here, Trace. Tracy's number 10 is Doll's Let's Play Dead. I wish she was here to defend that because I would have words.
She said when she comes on next week's episode, she will clarify why her 10 to 6 is her 10 to 6.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to hold off until then. Lee, what's your number 10?
See, I feel like I'm going to get some crap for this one as well. And this is the house I was talking about with Michelle on this last one, I feel exactly the same way that she feels about Fallout, about this one, because it didn't feel like a Halloween Horror Nights house to me. It felt like a walkthrough of the thing itself, and I have no connection to the thing itself at all, and that is WWE presents The Horrors of the Y at 6. It just did nothing for me. Like, I get it, it's cool. I love that, you know, Mike Aiello and Ramon Parador had this thing that they're such into, and the style of it is kind of creepy, and it does suit Horror Nights, but I felt the same as Michelle did. I walked through it, and it felt like a walk through WWE Y at 6. It didn't feel like a haunted house to me. There wasn't really scares. It just felt like it was kind of showcasing them and their costumes and the sort of story of them. It never felt like a haunted house to me. There was some cool effects in it. I love the effect right at the beginning where the guy's got the lantern and he steps forward and blows it out. That was cool. I did like that. But other than that, I felt very much the same way Michelle felt about Fallout, and that's why it's my number 10.
Could see that. All right, my number 10 is Grave of Flesh. This house has one of the coolest entrances to a Horror Nights house, where you are walking into your grave, or you're walking under your grave. You have the water coming down. It sets such an amazing tone, and it has everything there for it to be an amazing house. And then it just falls so flat on its face. It is, and no disrespect to the creators on this, but I just have to voice my opinion. This thing sucked.
Oh my God. You and I are going to talk, sir.
Dude, this is Spirit Halloween level masks.
Oh.
Like, this house sucked.
Oh my God.
And I went through it twice, maybe 3 times, hoping they changed something in the month that I hadn't been there. No, it was just as bad as the first time I went through it. I have no idea what the hell's going on. Like, I read the story. Yeah, I get it. But also, like, it doesn't actually tell you a story.
It doesn't.
And again, it's, I felt that the actors were so, like, the costumes that they were wearing were so generic. Also very short. Maybe that's on purpose. But all the scare actors were very, very short in this house. So it made it less scarier to me. Like, it's almost like children trying to scare me. Yeah. I it's unfortunate because, like I said, like, I hate how bad this house is because of how awesome that opening entrance is to it. Right. Also, the green, I guess that's a portal to hell or heaven.
Oh,
with
that
the green light coming through the 2 doors. I didn't understand
that. I must admit, that was weird.
It's cool. You know what it reminded me of? Ghostbusters for some reason. Like Zool coming through, right?
Yeah.
Like that is what it reminded me of. I'm like, this is awesome too. Like, it had some really cool things. And also, let me say this much. I really, really enjoyed the set pieces. Like, the actual set pieces that you're walking through were awesome. So it has all these pieces to be such a great house. But again, it just falls too flat. Everything is too much of the same. It just feels very cheap. I think they could have done some things to change it to make it better. Like I said, more so with what the scare actors are doing and, you know, how they were dressed. But it is what it is. So I can't wait to hear when you bring it up. All right. Let us jump over to number 9. And I'll go first with this one.
Okay.
Actually, no. Lee, you go first.
Me? Oh, God.
Yeah, go.
My number 9. Interesting, actually, because I am very similar on this with Tracy, and I know that Chris is not going to like it, but I sit along with Tracy's number 10, and it was Doll's Let's Play Dead. I thought it was terrible. Up until my last run through with Alexa, where she kind of talked me through it a little bit more, and I saw it from a different perspective. Up until that point, in my opinion, this was the worst house I'd been through at Halloween Horror Nights. I thought it was terrible. And I kind of saw it through Alexa's eyes a little bit, because if you've listened to last week's show, Alexa and I mic'd up walking through that house, and she kind of made me look at it from a different perspective. I still think it's terrible. And it just, if you talk about Grave of Flesh feeling like Spirit Halloween, this felt like it to me. It felt like the cheapest house Horror Nights have ever done. There's some cool little bits in it. I love the army guy at the end. I love the toaster oven. I love that there's like 3 different guest activated triggers in there. I thought that was pretty cool. But just the rest of it just left me cold, and it felt really cheap. So up until probably about a week ago, this was my number 10, and I'm in a long way at number 10.
Wow. This is one of those things where it's like everybody you can have a number 10 on someone's list and someone else appreciates it. Yeah, this is exactly that.
And I think this year, from talking to people, this year's very divisive.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Number 9, I'll go next. So this one, I enjoyed it, and Lee kind of spoke on it already. And I'm not ranking it here because of what it was. There was other things I liked more. So I have The Horrors of Wyatt 6 on here.
Interesting. I expected you to have that much
I know. And this is after going through it like the last time as well. It had a lot of cool pieces to it, and it showed a lot of cool things, but I think it lacked a bit of storytelling as well. Like you had to know, which I did from watching the documentary, but it was more so like, look at these figures, right? So it looked more like a display. Yeah. To me, rather than a story, and more so again like walking through the set of WWE and this happens. I don't like ranking it so low, but after the last run through we did, it was a great run through, but it just didn't really spark anything in me to go like, oh my god. But the first time going through it, I loved it. Like it was like seeing all those things, but I guess I just enjoyed a lot of other things more.
It's that weird thing again. It's like we know the IP houses are aimed at super fans of those IP houses. And if you're not like this house, it was completely lost on me.
Totally understand. All right, Michelle, number 9.
Okay, my number 9 and 8 are pretty interchangeable, but I went number 9 is Gawkin.
Wow.
And let me preface it by saying I only was able to go through this house twice.
Okay.
And both times I feel like I didn't get a good run through. Like I don't know if they were short staffed but it was the beginning. I only went through this house at the beginning of the event. So I went through it during Premium Scream, and then I went through it
the media night.
On the media night. Yeah. And Chris, did we have a good run through? Or did you have a good run through that night?
We had a run through. We had a decent run through on there. I think from going and editing all those videos over and over and over again. I remember us getting out of it and just going, like it's cool, but it was like one of the first houses we did, like the first or second house.
Yeah.
And we were both, kind of, it had some cool set pieces, but we weren't blown away.
I wasn't blown away, and when I went back this past time, I've only gone to HHN 3 nights.
Us too.
I didn't make it back there at all. So I'll preface it by saying I have not gone through this house a lot, but I was not impressed the first 2 times I went through it.
Wow.
At all. And that's probably because I, again, in my own head, had an expectation of what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the next iteration of Yeti in some way or form. And I thought cold, this is going to be a cold house.
Which it should have been.
This is going to have
Should have been.
Yeah, this is going to have some big scary figures and really cool set pieces. So in my head, it was one thing, and going through it, it was not that at all. And so I just felt like it missed a big mark. Yeah. So it left zero impression on me whatsoever.
Interesting. I love doing these.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up, Tracy. And speaking for Tracy is Michelle. What was her number 9?
Her number 9 is also WWE presents the Wyatt 6.
Again, I think I'm sure she'll clarify a little bit on next week's show, but she felt very much the same as I did with it. It was cool. It was cool. It was there, but it just didn't hit with us at all.
I think just going back to it, I think if you're any way, shape, or form a WWE fan, you would love it.
Yeah.
But like us, the way we look at it, we have to look at it coming as a Horror Nights fan.
Yes.
And what we come to expect how a house should be, what it should do, what we each one of us personally should feel out of that house. And that's why we get all these different, crazy rankings.
Yeah.
I think it's all kind of showing up around the same area because as a quote Horror Nights house, I don't know if it fits the same criteria that other houses typically do, if that makes sense.
That's why I understand why Michelle's got Fallout where it is.
Yeah.
I had a lot more fun with it, so it's higher up for me, and I like the show a lot more. But I can understand that same thing of if you just don't get it or you're not into it, then you're not going to have the same run through as someone who likes it or loves it. That's why the originals are generally better.
See, that's interesting because you'll see I have the Wyatt 6 up a little higher, but it's kind of for the opposite reason because I don't know the stuff.
Interesting.
I feel like I was able to enjoy it.
Okay.
So anyway, I'll talk about it more later.
Interesting.
I wish to go to Universal Studios Singapore.
Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg. Ride the movies at Universal Studios Singapore. A spectacular destination for the people of the region and the people of the world.
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
All right. I guess just keep on talking, Michelle. What's your number 8?
My number 8, as I said before, is pretty interchangeable with my number 9, but my number 8 is Grave of Flesh. Good God, that was a terrible house. It was so bad.
Oh my God, you people.
It was so bad. And I went through that one 4 times, and it just did not hit. Again, like Chris said, the beginning, phenomenal. Like the facade, awesome. The concept, cool, right? Like I'm walking in, spoilers, but I'm walking in, you look up and you see your own grave up there. That is super, super cool. The beginning of the house was okay with the first, like when we first started seeing the flesh eating, whatever they're called, creatures. And like the atmosphere was pretty cool. And then all of a sudden it's almost like they either ran out of time or budget or something, because it was like cool. And then like I felt like I was in a totally different house all of a sudden. It just went super cheap, super sparse on the decorations, super sparse on the boo holes and the creative scares, confusing. Like the storyline completely got lost. And Chris and I, we were there for media, which is essentially an RIP tour. And we knew the backstory going in. Cool backstory. Mm-hmm. Even knowing the backstory, when we got to that part where there's like cement stairs and stuff, I was like, Chris, what's happening?
Yeah, because I thought we died, right? Like we're underground, but then we're also kind of above ground near the stairs.
Right.
No, you're going to the afterlife at that point.
What are these stairs
to? The underworld,
yes.
But still, why am I taking stairs to that? I'm in the underworld already. Like we did that in the beginning.
It's Gringotts.
And
You've got
where
to climb
did the
back
stairs
up.
come from? Like it was all like very primal. Like the atmosphere was all very non-human at the beginning. And then there's these stairs that are obviously like very construction, like what's the word I'm looking for? Modern looking? I don't know.
Exposed brick?
Yeah, like cement. Industrial, that's the word. I was like, what's happening here? How did we go from like being underground in hell to now we're in these industrial looking stairs, and what the hell's going on? I was so confused, and it just didn't make sense anymore. So
I will say, just because we're talking about it, forgot to mention, loved that rainbowy.
Oh, the testicle.
Whatever it was with the lights and the sound.
I called it the testicle.
Yes.
That was amazing. And Horror Night or Universal, do more of that creative stuff. Like that was super cool. Love that.
Yeah.
Just other stuff needs to be fixed.
I called it the testicle. Tracy said that she found an actual testicle in the wall around the corner from the glowing testicle.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God!
Nice.
It's so. This is what I love about these episodes, that you guys are. We'll get there.
What, testicles?
Okay.
No.
Or the house ranking.
The house ranking. We'll get there.
Okay. All right. What's Tracy's number 8?
Tracy's number 8.
Lee, why don't you tell us Tracy's number 8?
I will. Tracy's number 8 was Jason Universe, and purely because of Jason's mother. We went through one house run, and the mother was brilliant. Every other one we've seen is kind of lackluster. She was awesome, and Tracy remembers nothing else about the rest of the house.
Seriously, just one scare actor ruined the whole thing for her, huh?
No, Jason's mother was the decent one. That's the reason it's 8 and not 10.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Tracy and I have a very similar opinion on a lot of these houses, so when I get to where I've got it, I will probably say very much similar things to what she would say as well. But yes, Jason Universe.
Okay. What about your number 8, Lee?
My number 8. Oh, Michelle, batten down the hatches. My number 8 is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
Okay. Again, similar to what Michelle talked about with Fallout, and what I said or what we've all said about the Horrors of the Wyatt 6 at this point. I've watched the movie a couple of times. It was okay. I've never played any of the games, so I don't have a connection to it. I know the games are irrelevant because it's basically based on the movie, but again, it just didn't... I think there was too many kind of like jump out props rather than actual scare actors. Like the animatronics were cool. I love the beginning, the entrance scene in the foyer of the pizza place with the animatronics singing, and then it went dark and the eyes like squinted. So that was cool. But the rest of the house just, I don't know, it just didn't grab me. And again, it's that thing. I'm sure Michelle's going to talk about it. I am 100% sure that Chris had lost her ever-loving mind in that house. I have no doubt she did, yes. And that's what a lot of these are aimed at. And that's why, for me, it just didn't... It was cool, but because I have no real connection to Five Nights at Freddy's, it was okay. I get it. I appreciate that it was the most expensive house they've ever done, and the animatronics were cool. And it was like walking through Five Nights at Freddy's. But it's just, there's other things better... And just the fact that I don't really care about that franchise, quite honestly.
That's fair.
Okay. Number 8, I have Gulkin Monsters of the North.
What?
Again, going back to like what Michelle was talking about earlier, it was an okay house. There was some really cool set design pieces in there. Fire pit was awesome.
Oh, the Wicker Man. Yeah, the Wicker Man.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that was really cool. But I don't know. Like I guess I have just such high expectations now from the non-IP houses. So when it doesn't hit all the marks for me, and that's kind of like being able to, because they can really tell you whatever story they want, while you're there. And I felt like that was missing from that house as well. I just don't think it did it well.
Does it need a story though? Really?
Yes.
I disagree. I think you still have a good house that doesn't have a story.
If it has a story, it should.
But look, okay. Let's say there is a story, which there is, right? I just feel the flow of the house is just doesn't attribute to that story, right? So like if we go back to just a quick comparison, let's say the Chupacabra house, right?
I love that house.
Amazing house. And what was that about? It was just about the Chupacabra, like, terrorizing, killing people, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the whole festival, whatever it was.
The whole festival, yeah. And you kind of see him going throughout the festival. Like that had a theme, and it stuck to the theme the entire time. What was Gulkin Monsters of the North about?
Monsters of the North.
Yeah, but like then I saw random scaring me and like random pop outs, and that doesn't pertain to that. It's just more like, oh yeah, these are the people that live in the North.
Yeah,
but not in the same way. But it wasn't cohesive enough for me.
On the RIP, what did they say? There was something about woman power. What was it? Are the creatures women, or was it the ones that were beating the creatures were women, or you need to bow down to the, what was it? Do you remember?
Did we do the same RIP tour? I do not remember that.
Yes,
ADHD
she said
kicked
something
in at that
about,
point.
I'll need to go back and look at my Meta Glasses
yeah.
video.
And to be fair, that was after we sat through 2 hours of an open bar. So please forgive me.
I did not drink, so I should remember
as much. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really hit for me.
Interesting.
If it was cold, it would have been higher on the list. I'll tell you that much.
But then the North doesn't necessarily mean cold. That's what we all expected.
But the artwork showed him in like the snow.
Yeah. Also,
did it?
When you live in South Florida, anything north is colder.
Okay, I'm reading the description right now.
Yeah, I think if you look at that image, it does not show any cold or snow. It's got the northern lights, and that's it. There's nothing there to say it should be cold. But we all interpreted that because that's what we'd heard.
Let me see the picture. Hold on. Yeah, that's a cold person there. Look, the trees have white on it.
So the story is a woman lived in a Norse village and was believed to be a protector. However, in reality, she was searching for her own dark powers. She sacrificed the village livestock and children to gain power. The villagers found out, took her up to the caves above the fjords, and gutted her to protect the village. She survived the ordeal and swore her revenge on the village. So that's like the lore of the actual Gulkin that this is supposed to be based on. And I did not get that at all.
Here, let me ask you this question.
At all.
Wait, so thank you for reading that, because now I understand what it's about. And watching this image, that is the lady who we're talking about that did the sacrifice.
The one with the big horns, that's the lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see her immediately walking into that house.
I was going to ask, where is she? Because I only did that house twice, but I don't really remember. Like, shouldn't that be a prominent figure that would stick out to me? Like, yeah, like that.
She's the first scare actor you see in that house, because she had glow-in-the-dark contacts in, which were cool as She's the first scare actor you see in that house.
Did we see that, Michelle? Like, I don't remember that at all.
I had to go back to my video. I'm
going to go back to my video to see if that's there.
On like on a stage. But wasn't that in the end?
No, you see her literally. She's the first person you see walking into that house.
In the beginning?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's...
I don't know. Made no sense.
I got it in a braid. I guess maybe I just had a bad run through, but yeah, it just didn't stick for me. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, somebody put dolls at the bottom.
Because it was.
So that's, I'm gonna censor that out. All right, number 7. I'm gonna start off with Tracy.
Okay.
Tracy's number 7 is Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, her reasoning is love the animatronics, no emotional connection.
Same as we said.
Makes sense.
Same as I
Fair
said.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's normally a big issue for the houses, the IP houses, a lot of the time, because they're generally IPs that you kind of know, which is what surprises me about Jason this year specifically, because we'll get onto that at some point. But I think they're starting to do these really niche IPs now that have a really hard fan base, and if you're into it, you're into it, and if you're not, you're not. And I feel like this year's very much that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not call this a niche, though.
It is. If you're not into it, you're not into
there's
it.
a crazy
No,
fandom.
dude. Niche would insinuate that it's a small, hardcore group. And I feel, again, we're showing our age as a podcast, by the way. But
Yeah.
This demographic, it is fucking huge.
10-year-olds.
Like, it does. It goes up. No, because kids grew up playing this and they're teenagers and adult.
All right, so 13-year-olds then.
Hey, I
There's
saw
enough
just as many adults walking around cosplaying these things. That's
my God.
probably more so than I did kids.
What was the wait time for this house? Anybody?
Because of all the kids.
Good God.
Does it matter? So that doesn't, but it's not niche. It's
not.
literally
You know what
a
I mean.
giant
Definitely
group
Maybe
of
popular.
people.
niche was the wrong word, but you know what I mean. I feel like the fan bases for a lot of the IPs this year, you either like them or you don't.
Yeah.
Would you have considered Last of Us a niche category?
If the TV show wasn't out, yes.
There was a
I
movie
think
out for
just
this.
about any. I think just about any IP fits that though, because either you love the IP or you don't love the IP, or you don't, or you're indifferent. Like
No, because I think if you're talking about horror stuff, like you look at like Scream and Freddy and Jason and Leatherface and stuff like that, whether you like them specifically or not, you still, as a horror fan, appreciate who they are. And we're starting to get into those like Stranger Things, FNAF, Fallout, Ghostbusters, stuff that isn't necessarily Halloween Horror Nights stuff, but that's where we're going because we're having to broaden our scope.
The
a little
Weeknd.
bit. Yeah, very much.
yeah,
Which, to be fair, I think is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that they're starting to not starting, but have started and
I agree.
are still continuing to reach out to these different things. Look, I had Horrors of White 6 down to number 9. That's not me saying I don't wish it was there.
No.
I think that's really cool that they went into wrestling.
Yeah.
And now going forward, when we talk about future years and we start doing our rumor mill, speculations, all that kind of stuff, when it was a few years back and The Weeknd came up, we were like, how the hell are you going to do that?
Exactly.
Now I think you can basically throw anything against the wall.
Yeah.
And then just, instead of being hesitant, now you're just going to speculate, how are they going to do that?
It's interesting. We talk about horror franchises that there's already rumors out for next year. And it's funny, one that Tracy and I are already 3 movies into the 10 movie run of a certain franchise. And we're 3 in and gone, these are terrible. Hellraiser's apparently rumored for next year at this point. I used to love those movies, and we're 3 in and we're like, oh, these aren't as good as I remember them being.
Yeah, I mean, the horror back in the 80s was different.
To be fair, though, as a Horror Nights house, just the iconography of those movies could be amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hell, right?
Yeah. Just having Pinhead as a character at the event is something like we talked about it. Like, I don't understand why it's not been a thing before.
Yeah. And Pinhead's such a unique...
Yeah.
Pinhead's one of those characters where I guarantee you 7 or 8 out of 10 people can look at that image of Pinhead and go, I've seen that. I know that. And have never seen the movies or even know where it's from.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I'll go. My number 7 is Jason.
Interesting.
Yeah. And when we get to the other ones, I'll explain why things are where they are. But for me, I'll be honest with you, I had Jason almost at the bottom of my list. Did it, a handful of times this year. We didn't go as many times as we have in the past. But the last 2 run-throughs that we did of Jason, they were good. Like the first run through, we had a good run through, I think, Michelle, on media night. But I just was, I'm kind of over Jason. It's just Jason after Jason after Jason after Jason. And I kind of appreciated it more after the fact, even though it's not super creative as to how they did it, right? Because it's literally just, boom, 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 boom down the hallway of death. But I can appreciate that, and I got more of a thrill out of that than I did other houses, and that thrill kind of bumped it up a little bit. I also really do like that outside car scene with the mother. I thought that was really cool and a great way to transition from like one area to another.
It was the best use of that space.
So good.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Yep. So that is my number 7. Lee, what is your 7?
My number 7 is also Jason Universe for a similar reason. It's like Jason isn't a horror character that I was ever into. It was always Freddy for me. And I think it's funny because when this got announced and what we heard it was going to be, I was like, oh, this sounds like it's going to be the Jason version of the Insidious house that we had last year. And I was gutted we didn't get to see that. But Chris has kind of hit the nail on the head with that compared to Insidious, because everyone said Insidious was the best house last year, but it had different characters in it. So you had enough of like very similar vibe to this, of that corridor of death, but it was different characters popping out. It wasn't just Jason. And even though in this, I thought it was pretty cool that final run was like every iteration of Jason, although I will say I was very disappointed that Space Jason was not there, because he's the best one. Like devastated that he was not there. You know, we watched all 12 movies going into this year and they're terrible. So just, again, it's that thing of not having a connection to Friday the 13th. I appreciate for what it is. I agree. It's the best use of that space that we've been through. Again, shout out to what Tracy said, the mother, and that, I think it was like our second or third run through outside the cabin, when she's like, those children were making love while that boy drowned. She was brilliant. But other than that, it was a generic Halloween Horror Nights house that you could have put anybody but Jason in there and it would have been the same. So, number 7.
All right, Michelle?
My number 7 is Five Nights at Freddy's, along with Tracy.
Wow.
Yeah, I like the IP just because Krista likes the IP, so I like to see her excited.
And she was.
Yes, oh my God. She got so excited and she was like totally fangirling throughout the whole thing and just loved it all, which is I love to see. For me personally though, it was cool. Like the amount of, I'm sure, money and effort and time they put into those animatronics was incredible. Like, for sure, never before been done for HHN, that level of investment, I would say.
As I say, it's the most, from what I've heard, it's the most expensive house they've ever done.
For sure. And those animatronics have to be going somewhere else after this. Like, surely they didn't just make these animatronics only for HHN. So intrigued to see where those things go in the future, but incredible. Like, the animatronics were incredible. The way that they built out the sets, incredible. So kudos in that. However, it was not at all, I keep saying this, scary. I mean, yeah, that's not all that Halloween Horror Nights is about, but for me, it's a big part of it because I like the adrenaline rush. Mm-hmm. Like, I love it. That is what feeds my obsession for continuing to go to HHN every year, is that adrenaline rush. And sadly seeing less and less of that. And I don't know if that's my own fault or if the event is getting soft, but I have noticed a trend of bringing in IPs that do cater towards the younger demographic, which good for some, bad for others. For me, it just wasn't scary there. And what's sad is that there are some really scary things in that franchise. They didn't use any of those super scary scenes in the right way, which made me sad because there could have been some gore. Yeah, but I'm guessing it's because it was children. But although they were killing children in other houses, not this year, but before. Yeah, you're right with children, as long as it's not animals.
If you bring an IP that you're killing children, you have to kill children.
Yeah.
Well, and they insinuated it with shadows, but they didn't do it. You know, like there was some content that could have been used that they didn't take it there, and I'm not sure if it was because they specifically did want kids to be okay in this house or not, or if maybe the IP wouldn't let them. I don't know.
It could be that.
But yeah, it was cool, but meh.
Yeah,
I would have been fine just with another walkthrough experience.
It's that thing. If Universal ever did a daytime haunt at the parks, you could see it being something like this.
Or they could have done a dining experience at Louis, where they put the animatronics up on the stage,
that
like freaking
cool.
Chuck. And done a Freddy's.
Instead of just putting Five Nights at Freddy's photo up on the back wall and that's it. That's you done.
Exactly. Like, they could have sold extra tickets to a Five Nights at Freddy's dining experience, and that would have made sense to me. But the house didn't really fit.
That would be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, scare actor dining and do it in there would have been perfect.
I think the house is, and this is just literally my own opinion, it's Universal's way to bring in, like you said, that younger crowd, that younger demographic, and get them accustomed to Horror Nights.
It's that next generation. You're bringing that next generation of Horror Nights fans in. Yeah, absolutely. And you can't blame them for that.
I mean, I will, but
you know what I mean.
No, but you're right. No, you can't, right? Like,
No.
I don't want kids around. I don't want, younger people. It sounds so weird saying.
There was a lot of kids there this year.
Yeah, well, there's been that kind of, we've seen that kind of happening more and more every year. And then bringing in this IP, of course, you're going to have that, right? Because this is a huge IP, but it makes total sense for them to do that, right?
Yep.
This is their Happy Meal.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your Happy Meal, kids.
Yep.
Wait till you're a big kid. Yeah. Also, Lee, did you ever think you'd hear Michelle say that Horror Nights is getting soft?
I remember going through Yeti with Michelle, and there's no way that Michelle's the same Michelle that sat on this podcast with me right now.
See, and that's the thing. So, in your opinion, is the event getting softer, or am I getting braver?
I think it's probably a bit of both, honestly, Michelle, because
you're
you
just
have
getting
got
hard.
braver.
Okay.
You have got used to it a lot more than you used to be. I will say I got far more scares this year than I have in any previous year, and I literally.
Really?
Chris and I will counter that by saying we saw Tracy get an actual jump.
I was about to say that.
She we'll get her to talk about when she comes on next week. That she jumped 2 feet to the right scare in broad daylight in Springfield. I have never
in my life seen this.
It
ever.
was
And
hilarious.
It was amazing to see, like Tracy jumping. And yes, I do want to talk about this, but we'll wait for next week.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Honestly, Michelle, you'd have been crying. It was perfect.
That's awesome.
UUOP is brought to you by the Producers Club. Join today and get bonus episodes, the chance to be a guest host, birthday shoutouts on air, be part of our awesome Facebook community, and more. Head over to uuop.supercast.com to subscribe. Shameless plug.
All right. Number 6, I will start it off. I have Fallout at number 6.
Interesting.
Now, my number 6 and my number 5, which we'll talk about next week, they're two very weird selections to have so high on the list, and I'll explain why I have it. But for Fallout, right? So I had to watch the show, or we watched the show, and like Michelle, I said this, right? We finished it, but it was kind of a hard watch.
Really?
I didn't actually like it. I
Interesting.
just kind of stuck to it. I think 3 episodes in, Alexa can watch. Let me rephrase this. Alexa has watched everything. And by everything, I mean, like, she's gotten a warning from Netflix saying, we've run out of content for you to watch. Come back in a week.
Are you kidding?
No. Yeah, I am messing around, dude.
I was
Yes.
going to say, I didn't even think that was possible.
But so she watches everything and anything. And we watched this, and she was a few episodes in, and she was going to quit. I had to push her, and not like me going, come on, this is really good. I'm like, come on, let's just finish this. And which is unfortunate. I may watch season 2, but we had to watch it to try to get into this house.
Of course.
And the house itself, it wasn't very thrilling or scary. I thought they did a really good job at more of a you're walking through the set kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought the set pieces, like even in the show itself, I thought they were very interesting, and the way they did it was really cool. I really enjoyed that part of the show rather than the story of how they're telling it. So I got that out of this house, and that's what kind of bumped up the house for me, because I know the whole story, and they're doing a really good job at kind of doing that story from the show. And again, walking through the town was awesome. Seeing those mechs were really cool.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it is ranked higher on my list, not because it's an amazing house, but because I enjoyed walking through the set, and we did that one a couple times, and each time was pretty good. There was some funny little things, like those little cockroaches not the little, but the giant cockroaches that would come out and get you. I just thought those were funny, like the way they had the noises, and they kind of scare you. So yeah.
Wow.
All right, Michelle, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Dolls Let's Play Dead.
What?
Yeah. I thought Dolls was cool and unique, but not amazing. So it's kind of right in the middle. I thought that the concept was really cool. It was very much like Toy Story Sid,
Yeah.
comes to HHN, which was a neat concept. I loved I loved the fact that we were shrunk down to the size of a toy and seeing everything from that perspective. Not at all what I expected. I thought some of the costumes and the masks and makeup were very unique. There's that one doll in general, it was towards the middle. She had like a shrunken head.
Oh, yeah. I know which one you mean.
Yeah, she was like off to the right. It cracked me up. So I moved this one up like towards mid-list, sincerely only because it was so unique. Not really scary, although there was a couple of times that it did get me because I was so like lost in looking at the set and like being in awe of looking, something off to this direction that something on the other side of me got me. So I did have some funny scares in there and the concept was really cool, but it probably would have gone up a lot higher if it had gone with a different direction, which was scary dolls. Like I'm obsessed with Annabelle. So I love the idea of like possessed dolls themselves. So when I first heard Dolls Let's Play Dead as an announcement, that's what my brain went to. So I was a little bit bummed out that that's not what it was, but still it was cool. Not scary necessarily, but cool.
It was terrible, but all right. Sorry, everyone.
Tell us how you really feel.
If I did, I would be here a long time because I thought it was awful, to be fair.
Sorry,
guys. I've had to justify where I have dolls to more than just you two right now. Trust me. Joni, Jillian, Alexa have all been at me for it.
All right. Well, could you tell us where Tracy's number 6 is?
Oh, Tracy's number 6. It's actually Michelle who's going to tell you what Tracy's number 6 is.
Michelle, please.
Tracy's number 6 is Fallout.
Interesting. It's on the same page as you.
Yeah, because we're the same person. I'll wait for her to comment on it for next week if she wants to.
Okay.
But I totally agree with you, Tracy.
Yeah.
All right. Lee, close us off on this episode.
Shall we talk about Fallout a little bit more? Because Fallout is also my number 6.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So it's interesting hearing you two talk about Fallout. I've never played the games, any of them. So I have no connection to the games whatsoever. We watched the TV show when it came out, and I thought it was okay. And then when it got announced for Horror Nights, I was like, I feel like we need to watch it again. She's like, I'm not bothered about watching it again. So I was like, all right. So I watched it again at work and enjoyed it more second time round. And then she's like, maybe we should watch it. So then we watched it again. So I've seen it 3 times at this point.
Jeez.
Do you have the Netflix achievement too?
No, because it's on Amazon Prime over here. I like the TV show. I don't love it. I thought the house, exactly what you guys said, is a really good rendition of walking through that TV show. I thought there was some really good effects in it. I loved how they added in that weird like lake monster thing, like how they put that into the house. I thought was really clever.
Yes. Yeah. Forgot about that.
I love the corridor of the like zombie guys in the like refrigerators. I thought was pretty cool, which those fridges were straight out of The Last of Us, by the way. I thought exiting the vault and going out into the wasteland I thought was really cool. My favourite section in that whole house was Philly. I thought was perfect. I had quite a bit of interaction. There's a guy looking for teeth in there. I had quite an interaction with him one run through. It wasn't scary or whatever. I just thought it was a really good house that just kind of hit me in the right place. I thought the ghoul was great. The mech suits were great. It was exactly what I would have expected from a Fallout house. So it just hit right. But there's 5 much better than it, which is why it is my number 6.
Okay. I would agree with all those points.
Me too.
All right. Damn, we got to 6 quick. So that is, I guess it's going to wrap up. Anything else you guys want to add on these that we went through so far? Or you want to wait till next week's exciting episode to finish us off?
I think you can kind of see we're all on the same page for the most part for our top 5s. I think it's just going to be where we've got them all.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's a house we've all got in our top 5 at this point where you guys have been kind of disparaging about the storylines for certain houses. And I know your other half, Chris, is very disparaging about a house that we all have in our top 5. And I'm expecting it to be quite high that she doesn't get the story for that house at all.
Yeah. There's contradictions. I do agree with you. There is going to be some contradictions on the picks, but again, we'll talk through it.
It's just, I think a lot of the time with Horror Nights, it's just how those houses hit you.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
Absolutely. And the emotional connection you have to them.
Yeah.
The property that they're covering.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, that is going to wrap up the podcast. Now, don't forget, we want you to rate the Freeze Ray Pops and send in your recordings, as well as sending in your How Bad is Fast and Furious Supercharged jokes. And after you've been to Horror Nights, please send us your house rankings 10-1 for our listener rankings for Horror Nights 34. You can send all of that to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. Until then, we'll see you next week for our final house ranking.
That's the end of another Stella episode of UUOP. Use the Flu Network to give you access to us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. And check out our blog at uuopodcast.com for everything else. Send your owls to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, jump down the warp pipe at uuop.supercast.com. It's alive on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else that podcasts are found. So please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Dragons aren't the only way to get around. Email Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. Listen to them, Children of the Night, the children of the UUOP network. Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, the Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando Food podcast, and the Portkey Passport, an adult-centric Disney podcast. Make sure to subscribe and come back next week because in the end, it turns out all we needed was a little more of this.